Today, we will talk about debugging business rules. Whether you like it or not, your business decision models will contain bugs, like regular software always does. These decision models will fail to produce expected results for certain inputs and under different unforeseen circumstances. As a result, their authors, who are usually business people, will have troubles to understand why certain rules were not executed while others did. For real-world business decision models, even the best explanation reports and execution traces could be difficult to follow. When complex logical errors occur, decision model authors discover that their business rules and decision management system is only as good as the rules debugging tools it offers. To deal with such complex logical errors, software developers usually rely on very powerful code debuggers. However, business users don't have and don't need access to executable code. What they really need is a powerful, while easy to use, rule debugger to debug their business logic in business terms without becoming de facto programmers. And now you're looking on OpenRules Decision Manager that includes such rule debugger. Let's look inside this debugger. First, I will show you OpenRules Explorer. It's a graphical decision modeling environment. And I opened a decision model on origination that is described in the DMN document section 11. This is a reasonably complex model, and it has it should calculate a loan origination result considering different sub-goals. And here, if I click here, this is different decision tables that implement this complex logic, and there are a serious relationship between them. We certainly, there are different concepts, and we can show them, we can show different inputs. But the point is that we need to be able to analyze execution of this decision model and find out why certain rules were executed or not. So I will switch to this run view, and in run view, on the left panel, you can see different available run tests defined in Excel, and the execution path. This is a sequence of steps that should be executed for this model, and this sequence was automatically calculated by OpenRules engine. So now, when I click, for example, to test one, it will start executing this test, not in debug mode, but in regular batch mode. So when it executes, it produces this execution protocol, or we call this execution console. And on console, you can see different rules that were actually executed and values that were changed or not changed. It's much more friendly if you click on execution report, and you will see this in HTML format. And this format really is loved by our customers because it shows only executed decision tables, and inside them it shows all rules that were executed. For example, you can see for application risk scores, these 4 rules were executed, while there are much more rules inside this decision table. And here you can see formulation of rules, and here you will see different involved variables and their values in the moment of execution of these rules. But when you have hundreds and even thousands of rules, it's really difficult to go step by step through this this report and find out what actually going on. We need a dynamic tool that can execute rule one by one or table by table. To switch to this debugging mode, we have here different buttons for debugging. So the same test one can be executed when I click on this debugger. So first it starts the debug session, and it will stop on first rule, like this one, and this rule can be executed. Now I can click on button, probably on button next rule, and it shows me next rule, and I can keep clicking on these buttons. And while I'm clicking on these buttons, on the right side, I can see my decision variables and different values of these variables as for the moment of execution of these rules. So I can keep pushing this, or I can click on the button next rule set. And I go to next rule set, and this is a decision table pre-bureau risk category. You can see it's also displayed here dynamically, so you always know where you are if it's a large list of rule sets. And I can keep going through this one by one, or I can keep go to another rule. And in the moment I have to explain you why this rule green and why some rules gray. Green rules, that's actually executed rules. But right now, when I stopped in this rule, it shows me that this rule is about to be executed. And this is the current values of all variables. But if I want, for example, to see there are many variables, so I can click on this selector, and it will show me only variables involved in execution of these rules. And now I can see why this rule will be executed. Oh, because this rule actually, it's an unconditional rule. But if I keep pushing this rule wouldn't be executed. Because why? Because its product type it's executed only when product type is special loan, and here product type is standard loan. Naturally, this rule would not be executed, but you can see, for example, when I can keep pushing, and now after execution of this rule, it will change required monthly installment, and we can continue this process, but we always can click go to the end. And when I click go to the end, it will show me all executed rules. This execution was completed, and it shows me our variables, and all these variables, a loan origination result was accepted. You always can click here to see, for example, glossary. When you click on this variable, and this glossary describes all our variables, and you can also click on any rule. When I click, for example, here, and it will open decision tables that describes this particular table, and it puts cursor on the cell where this rule is defined. Okay, so now the only thing what probably you also would appreciate, if I click on this show me executed rules only. In this situation, I will have only green rules shown here. So if you have many rules, you won't concentrate only on executed rules. And I can click here to make our execution console smaller. I even can click here to make debugging area bigger or smaller. So this is our debugging environment. And general principle is whenever you click on the rule, on the right, you will see all related variables. If I just click here, show me all variables, you will see all variables here. So now let's consider how we can stop in certain rules that we're really interested to analyze. So this usually called in all debuggers breakpoints. So to define breakpoints, let's say I would define, I want to stop here and figure out, let me open all rules, and let's say I want to know why rule 3 was not executed. So I will stop, for example, at I can stop on this rule 3, and when I click this, I set breakpoint, and probably I will stop also here, and it will show me another breakpoint, and these breakpoints. So I have two breakpoints, and this is 2 points of interest. When I click on restart, it restarts this session, and it should execute everything until breakpoint. So let's see how it does. Okay, you can see debugger stopped execution in this at first breakpoint, and it shows us the current values of these rules. And this rule wouldn't be executed because it executed only when existing customer is true. And what do we have now? Existing customer is true. Oh, that's correct. But it also and application risk score between 120 and 130. And application risk score in at this moment 138. So that's more than 130. So it would not be executed. We can continue rule by rule, and you can see, oh, when application score is more than 130, it will be executed, and now we know why. So far everything okay. I can continue to execute this rule by rule, or I can tell go to the next breakpoint. When I click this, my debugger stops in this breakpoint, and now I can do additional analysis in step-by-step manner. So actually, you can see there are no Java code, there are no JSON code. There is only rules as they defined by business people with ability to open these rules in a side Excel file and see immediately the content of this file and very simple decision tables. And even if you make some changes, you will do, they would be immediately reflected on this graphical interface. So this is as simple as it can be, and this was our objective. We wanted from one side to give business people the power to stop execution, to analyze current state of the decision model, and allow them to do it with maximum convenience and ease of use. You can always download this version and try it with your own model. Thank you.